Okay, next is our LSO, okay, our lovely little turtle shell, okay, you guys. This is the one you guys will be using for our skill checks. Kenzie, go. We have 2 other versions in there. This will be the one that is in there for you though, so I want you to be able to kind of orient yourself. I'm actually going to take it apart so that you guys can see how to figure out where everything goes. Okay, there is a front and a back shell, okay? The back shell is going to be this big portion that goes up. For this, you guys, we are not talking, this goes below my shoulder blades, so this is an LSO. It will not come up above my shoulder blades, above my scapula, so it is an LSO, okay? This is always going to be your back portion, and in terms of orienting from top to bottom, you can see it flares out more so at the bottom. That is to accommodate for the hips. So that is one way that you can first find off which is this is always going to be your back portion, and then it's going to flare out at the hips, so that's going to be your bottom. When I'm then orienting and kind of figuring out where my front piece is going to go and how this aligns, okay, this is accommodating for our pubis. It gives a little bit of a block at our pubis and allows for hip flexion to occur. So this is always going to be the bottom of your front portion, and your front portion is always going to fold inside, okay, of the back portion. It's never going to be going on the outside. It's always going to fit kind of inside like a little puzzle, okay, both sides going on the inside. So this is what my LSO looks like when the 2 pieces align put together. When your patient is going to be putting this on and off for the first time, it's always easiest to start with one side already Velcroed together. That way it kind of creates this little kind of open and close mechanism. So it's a little bit easier to do it that way. That way you only have to worry about one side, and you can always adjust things after the fact. So I would always loosen up one side, and that way you can kind of put it on back side like this, okay? And then it tucks inside like that, all right? And this does not fit me, you guys. It won't be as tight as it's supposed to be. There's a lot of room here, okay? So just get it as close as a fit as you can for your patient. Things that I need to make sure is that this portion is centered and aligned just like it would be for pubis, okay? So make sure that we can tighten up here. As I bring this around and tuck, again, front is always going to tuck inside the back piece. Bam, tighten up there. So there are 4 Velcros for this guy. Kind of get it as tight as you can. So my alignment is not going to be ideal here. You can see as I get a little closer here that these plastic pieces are not aligning. Ideally, this is going to hit here so that this allows for nice smooth hip flexion, okay? For me, it shouldn't be coming in. I shouldn't see this kind of funky divot here, okay? The way that it's aligned is meant for somebody to have that nice, open, beautiful curve for hip flexion to occur, okay? So I'm gonna tighten this up just so you can see. The main thing that I'm looking for you guys is to make sure that this is centered. Try to get this as even as you can, okay, in terms of tucking this front piece inside the back piece enough, okay, that it is centered. There we go, okay? So I'm about even on either side here. This is nice and tight, okay, making sure. With these, you guys, we talked about it, your patient should always have at least 1 layer of clothing underneath, whether it's a thin t-shirt, a tank top, some type of a stockinette. There needs to be something. Our trunk and all of our skin here can get very easily irritated, and also we talked about kind of these areas under here are a little bit more prone to sweating, so we want to avoid maceration, and those materials can help to soak up any moisture. So that is in standing. This is me, and that would be difficult for my patient to be able to do without trying to break any precautions and rotating. You can see how much effort that kind of took and how much movement that took on my part. So I am also going to show you guys another technique with how to get this on your patient. Again, do yourself a favor and only undo one side. It's a lot easier if it's kind of like an open and close mechanism rather than trying to center it with both of them done. Get down, get off the couch. So if my patient were laying in supine, you guys, and they had spinal precautions and weren't able to do rotation, okay, I would have them do log roll techniques in order to get this on. Especially if they needed it on in any weight bearing, they have to get this on before they get up for the day. Okay, so when I'm going to do this, I'm going to have my patient log roll away from me. Okay, log roll. I'm going to tuck the back side up, oh, I hope you can hear me, up underneath them. Obviously they wouldn't be rotating to talk to you. Okay, up underneath them as best I can. All right, that way, had to get out of the way. Go. That way, when they roll back this way, they have now rolled on top of the bottom piece.
okay? So that way it is aligned for them. And I can always adjust. It's easy then enough for them to kind of bridge, to move and adjust to make sure that it's centered. Go. Okay? Oh my God, Kenzie, go. So that way it is easy for me to then do my Velcros and align here. Tighten up. Make sure again that the front pieces are tucked inside of the back pieces. Okay, so then in order for my patient to get up, obviously they're gonna log roll to one side. Okay, now that their LSO is on, and they can do a push-up so that they're not rotating or spinning. Okay, I can always tighten it up again once they sit up if I need to, but they need that protection upon weight bearing, then we have to do it in supine, so we have to be able to figure it out. So log rolling is the one way that they can do that. Okay, same concept for taking it off. They may need to do log rolling in order to get it off, and that's easy enough to teach them. Obviously, I'm trying to talk to you and I'm twisting, but it's very easy to do without rotation when you are in supine. Okay, that is your LSO.